Good morning and welcome to another episode of Getting Ready with Rena. I really want a name for my series, like Vagabond Youth has the AM with Amy, and I really like that. So let me know if you guys come up with anything that I could use for my series name, because I want to keep filming these Get Ready with me's. I think it's been fun so far. Today I have lunch with some of my coworkers. So I have a couple of updates for you about that. I don't know how many of you know this, but I used to have a full-time job in the tech sector. I was a digital marketing person, basically. So I moved up from an assistant to a coordinator, and I was working at the same place for about 2 years. And really recently, I quit my job. So currently, I am fun employed, sort of. I'm actually doing freelance full-time at the moment, and that's graphic design stuff, digital marketing, consulting. I used to do translation a while back as well for Japanese. So I'm pretty much trying to kind of mentally recuperate from things that have happened in my personal life that I felt like I really just needed a break from work, and I also needed a break from San Diego for a little bit. So, with that being said, I am going to be home in Sacramento for about 2 months probably. So any of you super OG subscribers from when I was like in high school, you might see some of those same backgrounds because I'll be bumming it at home for a little bit. But I think that's something that I really wanted to talk about is, as a millennial, I feel like we get a lot of flack for being lazy and entitled. Those are the first two words that come to mind when you look up, how do you deal with an employee coworker? How do you deal with an employee who's a lazy and entitled millennial? Or how do you deal with a coworker that's lazy and entitled millennial? And I feel like, to be completely honest, those attributes are not things that I hold in common with the millennial stereotype. I feel like I've been grinding really hard ever since I got out of college, and even in college too, because I really want to see myself succeed and become a better person just because I can. Okay, I totally lost my train of thought. So, stepping back, I feel like I don't fit into the lazy millennial stereotype. I've never felt that way. I've been grinding since I was in college, whether it's taking on extracurriculars. I played I played intramural volleyball, I played dodgeball. I also did a lot of club activities, so I was in APSA for a while. I was vice president of JSA, which is Japanese Student Association, because I thought that would be a way that I could connect with my own culture. So I've never really felt like I've been lazy or entitled, for that matter. So I don't know where that stereotype comes. Well, yeah, I do know where that stereotype comes from. I'm sure that you out there watching have maybe even friends or family or coworkers or something that you would describe as lazy and entitled. I definitely do know some of those people in my life, but I don't think that I identify with that, and that's a good thing, So, that being said, my background is that I've always wanted a full-time job to be stable, financially, but I've always wanted to become a better person and become a more knowledgeable person, become a more skilled person. So I've been doing freelance pretty much since I started my full-time job. So it would be something like putting in 40 hours at the office full-time and then coming home on the weekends and working a couple of hours. And I really enjoy it. I enjoy seeing myself work, and I enjoy the hustle. And I'm hoping that I can also continue YouTube, because I feel that it's a big creative challenge to create content that I like, that I'm proud of. And I'm trying to move stuff around on my desk. And it's also it's fun to build a brand, because I'm in marketing now. So that's kind of a fun thing too. But I also get to oversee every single aspect of it. I get to see the branding, I get to see the content, everything. And that's really fun. And thankfully, I just really enjoy doing that. I enjoy YouTube, I enjoy being creative, and I found that this is a big passion of mine. So I'm hoping to continue doing this kind of thing in the future. I feel like I'm rambling a lot because usually I have some kind of topic to talk about, but this time I don't. And it's because, you know, my life has been sort of all over the place these last few weeks. So just to slight recap on where I've been. In October, today is November 1st, happy November, guys. In October, I had a huge event for my company that's held at the Disneyland resorts every year. So it's held at the Grand California this year and last year, and before that it was at the Disneyland Hotel. So I was helping out with that and putting in a lot of hours. It was like literally the week of the event, I was waking up at 7 a.m., working until 12 a.m., like midnight, going back down to the conference at like 7 or 7:30. It was crazy. I'm going to put on some lip gloss so I can plump my lips while I'm talking. And I'm going into the Naked 2 palette because I never use this thing and it's fall and I feel like these colors are just perfect for fall, you know, warm. They're not warm. They're cool toned, but they have those nice browns and things. So I'm going to go in with like a gold look and then do a dark orange lip today. Alright, so going back on to what's happening with me. I had my event in October. That went really well. It was great. Everyone really enjoyed the event. It's pretty much like a tech conference. And after that, that was on a Wednesday and a Thursday. So I was in Disneyland for about a week, and I do have a vlog that should already be out, so I'll link it up here somewhere. But after that, I basically had my last day on Monday. So I was just wrapping up loose ends and trying to make sure that things were, you know, good from my end, making sure that I had documentation so whoever's taking over my spot in the future understands exactly what they're responsible for. And I think the last day process went really well. Like I'm really happy with all of the work that I put in, and I really feel like I made an impact at this company. So that's like the best, you know, feeling, to be able to go into a place and then build it up and help build something. So for me, it was like the creative, the branding, the look and feel, the design, the website, things like that. And then be able to leave the place in a better place than when you started. Did that make sense? So I had a lot of feedback from my coworkers saying like I made a big impact, and I'm really happy to hear that. But I think it is time for me to move on to greater things, bigger things. So I am moving back home for a little bit to de-stress and just gain some mental clarity back for myself. And that's in regards to my job, which was super stressful, but also some personal things that came up, like I just said. And I don't know where my next job is going to take me, but I am really hoping that I am able to challenge myself, grow, and just become a better person, which is what I hope all of you are getting out of a job. It's not just about you putting in work and you being loyal to the company. My eyebrows are so uneven right now. But it's also about your personal growth and how you can become a better person for future you. So speaking of being unemployed, I remember when I was fresh out of college and I was really, really stressing about trying to find a job. I even talked about it on my vlogs, I'm sure, back then. So I am a little bit stressed, like not gonna lie, I'm a little bit stressed that I'm not gonna be able to find a job. But I'm thankfully financially stable enough at this point to where I can support myself because I have enough savings. And I'm doing freelance. So I'm hoping that that can tide me over until I find my full-time job. And I would really, 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 really love to travel in the meantime while I'm kind of stuck in this, rut of a mental space. And if I travel, I would likely be going to Japan. And I know my mom really wants to go at this point, so it's very possible that that's what happens for a little bit. Not sure how many of you subbies out there have similar backgrounds to me where you're, ethnically and culturally identified with something from your background. So for me, even though I moved to the US when I was fairly young, I've never considered myself Japanese American. I've never considered myself American. I only consider myself Japanese, period. And I think a lot of that has to do with the foods that I eat, the language that I like to speak, how I just feel more comfortable when I'm in Japan versus here. And I don't know why that is, because like I said, I've been living here pretty much my whole life. It's going on like 20 years now. But there's just something about this idea of home that I really identify with Japan. So I've always really wanted to live in Japan as a young adult. And I'm thinking that maybe this is the time to do so. And I know a lot of you subscribers out there started subscribing to me when I was in Korea, which for me was this totally unnavigated, kind of semi-uncomfortable state that I was in, because I speak the language but not well enough. I don't really identify culturally with Korea. So I was learning a lot of things about myself being in this foreign country. And I'm thinking that if I went back to Japan and lived there for a little bit, I think I would really see a lot of benefits from that. First of all, my language ability would jump up, I'm sure, because every time I go to Japan and I speak Japanese for a little bit, I come back and I'm like, damn, this sucks, because now I'm back in the US, I have no one to speak Japanese to anymore. And my language level would rise, my cultural awareness would rise. I think I just like seeing myself in this weird position where I feel a little bit uncomfortable, because that is what pushes you to grow. All right, so what was I gonna do? Okay, mascara. So San Diego has cooled down significantly. It's become really, really cold, and it's become like fall overnight, pretty much. It was literally like 106 degrees, 109 degrees, maybe a week ago. And then it finally cooled down, and now it's down to like 65. And I'm like, okay, can we have some kind of middle ground here? Could we go from like 110 degrees to like 80 to 70, But no, that's not how San Diego works, I guess. Alright, so the last thing I'm gonna do is take Mama by ColourPop. I believe this is a ultra matte. It's so pretty, guys. Okay. I think it's just not possible for me to have like hair that stays in place, that doesn't have one strand going through the freaking front. All right. Am I good? I hate when my bangs do this. Does this happen to you guys where you have like a clear delineation between your bangs and the rest of your hair? I'm trying to just hide that. I have a mirror like right behind the camera, so that's why I keep looking over here somewhere. Alright, y'all, thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know if you have a series name for this, because I would love to hear it, and I would love to brand this as something that comes out consistently every single week. I hope that you're having a fantastic day wherever you are. Stay positive, stay smiling, and I will see you next time. Bye!